Hey everybody, welcome back to the Preserves. Today we're going to do a simple noise gate cable that I learned about. Have a buddy of mine that is having noise issues in his amp, and so I was searching of a way to try and remedy that for him, because he doesn't really want any pedals or anything like that hooked up to his amp. But what he does have on his amp is an effects loop, and so I recently stumbled upon a video. Now, I don't have much laying around here in the way of patch cables, except for these really super old ones like this with the molded plastic covering. I don't have any of the ones that screw over excuse me, and come off in the form of a, let me show you what I'm talking about. Grab one of my guitar cables here. So I don't have any of them that are patch cables that unscrew like this and exposes your two leads. So what I'm going to do is, I know I don't have a two conductor cable, but I don't think that it's gonna matter once I just, you know, I don't have any of the TS cables, I just have the TRS cables. So what I'm going to do, let me wind this cable back up here and put her away. What I've done, actually not what I'm going to do, is I've taken one of these patch cables and I've cut this hard plastic piece off of this patch cable, and I've already gone ahead and soldered a I've desoldered the ground lead here. Let me see if you can see that. So the ground lead right there, I've desoldered that and put a heat shrink wrap on it, and desoldered the positive off of this, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. Let me get set up and I'll bring you back and I'll show you how we're going to make essentially a noise gate out of this. There is a couple of things that if you're going to build one of these yourself, that you'll want to do, and I'll explain that after I get set up here. Alright, so I'm back, and essentially you can use any small diode that you want. You can, these are 1N4148s. You can use a little bit bigger,
big as vagina
one if you want. This is a 1N4733. Whatever you want. I'm pretty sure you just got to you know, you can use whatever diodes you have on hand that are really are a small
dick. It's pathetic.
Diode. I have a ton of these laying around, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off the little paper on the end of these, like so. Just pull it off, and so I don't know if you can see, but there's that little black line on there on that diode, essentially right there. And then, so what you want to do is you want to take you know, your and flip those opposite of each other, lay them together, flip them opposite of each other like this, and so you've got one side coming in and one side going out, and then you just go ahead and twist these like so. Just twist them together on each side. And you want to kind of make them so they're kind of close. So what I do when I need to do a little setup like this is I just take a small pair of pliers and just go ahead and grab it and twist her in. And you want to make sure it's barely twisted in and whatnot, like so, on both sides. So that way you're just you got a little tiny package like that. Okay? And then before you clip these down, what you want to do is you want to solder these up so it stays together once you've clipped it. So let me tune you down and I'll show you what we're going to do there. So we've got our little diode package here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take our soldering iron and some solder. And you could put this in some helping hands if you'd like and solder it up, but oh, that thing is driving me nuts. Let me get enough solder on here to solder this up. Like so. Just make sure those leads are nice and soldered. Like so. Now you've got a little package that's all soldered up like so. And you just take your clips and clip her off. Right up next to those, right at the end of the solder. And then you'll have a little tiny package like so, huh? Just real small. This is really small. So next, what you do is you take your hot lead that's going to get soldered to here, yeah? Move this around, and we're going to strip this back just a tiny bit right here on the end of that lead right there. So we're take our strippers and just strip that back, and then we're gonna tin this up as well right here, so this is nice, and this lead right here is nice and tinned. We'll bend her up like so, bend this wire down so it's like that. Get our soldering iron and we'll just tin this up like so. So then the next thing that we want to do is we want to take our package that we've just made, and we're going to solder it directly to the hot here. All right. Perfect. So now what you've got is, let me zoom you back out a little bit. What you've got is that little package on the end of your quarter-inch jack. So now what we're gonna do is, because I want this completely protected, I'm gonna go ahead, we don't want anything touching that package in here, like any ground wires or anything like unto that. And then we'll hit it up with some solder. like so. Our package should be secure now. And what we do is we'll just run this heat shrink right over that package like that, making sure all of our wire is connected. Now let's use a lighter to shrink that up. It's all together like so. Let me zoom you out. We're gonna bend this all and then we're gonna build this jack back up with consecutive wire heat shrink. So first we'll put this one on, and we kind of want to measure the distance of where it comes up on the jack and having the jack exposed. Excuse me. That looks about good. Okay, so what we've done here is we've essentially made a noise gate out of a patch cable that had two sealed ends. It would have been much easier if I would have had one of those ones that the jacket screws back and you can desolder it from there. I had to literally cut the hard plastic off of here with a box knife, but it can be done. And then we made a makeshift end out of different sizes of heat shrink, and it's pretty sturdy, pretty firm. So what you could do is, you know, it's most likely not going to be seen. But anyway, let's go and test this now. Okay, so you can see this is the back of my PB Classic 30 right here. My effects loop is right over here. We've got our send and our return effects loop on this. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to plug in and I'm going to show you kind of the, you know, noisy stuff you get when you turn up just a little bit. My amp isn't too bad, but my buddy's amp is a lot better than this one. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like. Okay, so you can kind of hear the hum now. Let's turn her up and then you can hear it even more. So the higher you turn it up, the more hum you get, right? The more noise in the signal you get. Yeah? So let's leave that at a high gain. And I'll bring you around to the front so you can kind of hear that noise a little better. So you hear that noise a little bit better now? My amp isn't all that bad. That is really cranked right now. So let's go back over here. And let's get this patch cable plugged into our effects loop. Plug that in there. Do you hear that reduction in noise right there? That made a huge difference in the amount of sound. Let's take you around the front. That totally reduced the amount of noise coming out. Let me leave you right here and I'll unplug that. Take it out. Plug it in. So you guys can see, I'm just taking it, unplug it, all that noise, plug it back in, it almost completely eliminates all that noise. Comes right back. Let's turn my amp down. Boom. Takes it right away. So that's a super simple fix for eliminating noise on a noisy amp. If you have a small patch cable, a couple of diodes, small diodes, running them opposite of each other and twisting them together, and a feedback loop on your, or excuse me, an effects loop on your amp, this will eliminate a lot of that noise. And so with that being said, that's going to be the end of today's video. For a quick fix that you can do on your own if you have a soldering iron and a couple of small 4148 diodes. So, alright, that's going to be it from Preserves today, guys. Peace!